the Jaguars are healthier. It was their second straight game there. They were more comfortable. They were choppy early in the season, but as Greg Cosell had said, Trevor Lawrence had been playing very well. Even Calvin Ridley, his top receivers had had a case of the drops. He made some slick throws today. The Jags were picked up 10 first downs on third down. They were the better team, 474 yards of total offense. Some of that is Buffalo now has lost their top corner. Milano, their top linebacker, they got banged up. They had one of their pass rushers got banged up. So, but, look, Trevor Lawrence is 25 of 37, 315 yards. He was slinging it today. And that's the thing. When you watch a Trevor Lawrence or a Josh Allen, but let's talk Trevor Lawrence because he was humming today against Buffalo. And it's not the end of the world. Buffalo has been a hot, cold team. They're, as I always say, they're the Mike Tyson of the NFL. Big knockouts, or they can look really sloppy and ugly. And Buffalo coming off that dramatic win at home, goes overseas, and they just looked out of sync. Then the injuries started to pile up. But when you look at Trevor Lawrence, and you watch his size, 6'5.5", 6'6", he can sling it. He can move. Well, compare Russell Wilson to that. Or Zach Wilson to that, or the countless number of sort of C, B minus, D quarterbacks in this league. Trevor Lawrence is really good. This is a losing franchise that we've had doubts about forever. But when you watch that game today, I mean, he makes throws so effortlessly and so accurately. And by the way, it's all great quarterbacks get into ruts. Caleb Williams at USC in the first half got into a rut last night against Arizona, 3 or 4 throws, open receivers behind them. It happens. Mahomes will go into the weeds sometimes, and Andy Reid a couple weeks later mechanically brings him back. It happens. Brady didn't because he was so obsessed with it. But most quarterbacks, especially the hyper-athletic ones that move around a lot, they've got a lot of gifts. Sometimes they go mechanically into the weeds and miss throws. And Trevor Lawrence can do that. But when you're watching him sling it, man, he makes it look really easy. I remember, I'm not comparing him to Michael Jordan, but I remember years ago watching Michael Jordan against Phoenix in the NBA Finals, and I was sitting on a couch with a friend, and I said, he's not the best shooter, he's not the strongest player, he's not the best ball handler or the best passer, but I told a friend, I said, he makes it look so easy. He's just 6'6", he's not, he's just a 6'6" guy. Everything looked easy to Michael. Now we know it's not. But that's what great players, Caleb Williams does stuff. You're like, what? Whether it's a great golfer, a great quarterback, there are times Trevor Lawrence, and he makes mistakes like everybody, but he will just let it rip downfield, and it is a laser. And you're like, yeah, that's why he was the number 1 high school player, the number 1 college player. A lot of his struggles early were his teammates. It's not an excuse. It was his teammates. And I think Buffalo's going to be fine. I think this is what Buffalo is. I would be concerned a little bit. They're banged up defensively, but I don't question. One of the things I saw on the sidelines, Stephon Diggs kind of blew a fuse, and Josh Allen was looking at him. That went viral. Stephon is a very emotional guy, and in losses, that's just kind of part of his makeup. It happens. It's happened with receivers my entire life. I think it's fine as long as Buffalo is winning. But, Buffalo so far in the season, they go overseas, looked awful against the Jets, great against Miami, great against Washington. You get a little of everything with Buffalo. They're a very temperamental team, highly emotional. That's the way they play. That's the way Stephon Diggs is as a player. So I think that's kind of what they are. They're not consistent. They're an avalanche when they're playing well. They just bury you.